All right, hey guys, welcome to the Daniel Gorman Watch TV channel. And so today we are here to do a little review on the Delcona watch that I just received. It's a watch I got on Kickstarter, and its special feature is that it's a chime watch. All right, so this is how we actually received it. It came to us in a square-shaped, gray-colored box, and it had the brand's logo, which is actually quite nice.
All right, we're heading straight for the opening, so we'll drop.
The booklet.
And then on the actual box that holds the watch itself, and then you'll find a small little drawer, which is positioned right underneath, complete with all the extra goodies. Warranty card, the small chamois leather cloth. There was also the second bracelet that was given out as a special reward because they successfully reached 100 Beckers, and the little warranty label. There you have it. The box in and of itself is made of fake leather. And we come across the watch, which is in a display case. Well, it certainly does the job. You know, it's quite nice. I mean, I think for the price, the presentation is actually quite impressive, I must say. The brand's history, the Delcona brand is a brand that has been around since 1932. So it's an old German brand that manufactured watches, particularly watches for aeronautics in the 1960s. But to be perfectly honest with you now, I've found almost no discernible trace of the original brand. In my personal opinion, they've simply acquired the name, and they're manufacturing their watches through facilities in Hong Kong. So what we had here was a Kickstarter that offered the significant advantage of having a chiming watch, and in terms of budget, it was really well positioned. I myself had backed a Kickstarter from Radcliffe. The watch itself, aesthetically, I didn't really like it. It was much more expensive and also featured the chiming function. And I saw this one, which also looked a bit like a Veneziano Arsenal, so I decided to get it. Right, the model is the architecture model because it's based on an architectural design, and specifically it very clearly draws upon the distinctive stylistic elements, the fundamental codes of the Brandenburg Gate, particularly its impressive columns. There you go. So I didn't quite get a handle on it, but there you have it. Let's move on to the specifications. All right, so for the watch's specifications, it features a diameter excluding the crown of 39 millimeters. The lug-to-lug measurement is 49 millimeters, with the lugs gracefully curving downwards. The movement is an in-house DCN05 caliber, which notably has the special characteristic of a chiming function. It has a frequency of 28,880 beats per hour, 30 joules. It's a chime connection that is switchable and has a ball bearing system. We can remove it. It's water resistant to 50 meters, 5 atmospheres. It features a flat anti-reflective sapphire crystal. The weight is 159 grams with the steel bracelet. The bracelet is integrated. It has a relatively contained thickness of 10.9 millimeters. The case is 316L steel. It alternates polished finishes, especially on the top surface, with brushed ones on the sides. The edges are chamfered and finely polished. Pose which truly emphasizes the watch's sleek, understated, and elegant lines. The bracelet is seamlessly integrated. It bears a strong resemblance to the Veneziano Arsenal. The finish is meticulously done and the thickness is kept to a minimum. approximately 10.6 millimeters. Talk on the side, we have a brushed finish. We have a well-integrated branded crown, which allows you to set the time. We also have another button, which is the chime switch, letting you switch between chime mode and no chime mode. So by applying pressure, you need to press with a tiny point, but it's been particularly well integrated. This allows you to disengage quite effectively the hammer that's going to strike the gong. So the bezel, as I told you before, it's crenellated, which makes it also allows to give a real sense of depth to the dial, truly highlighting its features. Then on the other hand, it's securely fastened at the very bottom of the box. You'll find 4 screws there, which are used to ensure its water resistance down to a depth of 50 meters. The back of the case is also engraved. We can imagine that it's it looks like the engraving bears a strong resemblance to the Sagrada Familia, and with a bridge in front. So it's a bit of a fictional scene. The dial is known as having a sunray finish. This effect is created by a radial brushing process, which then allows for a sense of depth and reflections that appear completely different depending on the viewing angle. When you observe it directly from the front, you will perceive a uniform metallic color. However, if you begin to view it from the side, you will then notice distinct layers that will reflect the light quite differently, thereby creating a unique and intricate textural effect. So indeed, the watch dial is really quite attractive. It creates a sense of three-dimensional depth that considerably enriches the overall visual effect. On this dial, at the 12 o'clock position, we have the brand's logo, Delcona, which is inscribed, and just below it, the year from which it was established, 1932. At 4 o'clock in the afternoon, we discover a small window that's not particularly well integrated and quite small, which represents the switch to determine if the chime function is actually active. However, between 7 and 8 o'clock in the evening, we then have this chime, which is visually it's visible in like a somewhat skeletal function. It's open, and so we see the hammer that will rise up and then strike at the end of 60 minutes the gong. All right, so here we have it. The watch horns are designed with an asymmetrical diamond shape. They're equipped with a luminous coating right there in their very center. The ends are tapered and they ensure precise alignment with the indices, while their perfectly elongated tail extends right to the edge of the scale to ensure optimal clarity. The indices, for their part, are biconvex,
and they are always very polite and well-mannered.
So when it comes to the bracelet and its wearing comfort, the watch itself is incredibly comfortable to wear. The lugs are angled downwards, and as a result, it's very well integrated on the wrist. The bracelet certainly does the job. It's a bracelet that is very well integrated. Then as for the finish, the overall quality of the finish, I do find that it moves a little, but it more than adequately does the job. The clasp mechanism is a double butterfly. So really nice. It also came with a matching rubber strap, which I think will be even nicer than the steel finish, but I haven't actually put it on yet. All right, so now we're going to conduct a real-world test of the ringtone volume, which is definitely much too low. And that's truly the main flaw of this watch. We'll also see that there's a slight synchronization issue. It doesn't ring exactly on the hour, but a little bit after. All right, I'm going to be silent now, because otherwise we might not hear a single thing at all. Go on, I'll let the sound of the bell play out. The price of the watch. Well, let me tell you, this particular watch was actually sold for 380 euros during its campaign on the Kickstarter platform. It's a very competitive price, considering it's the absolute lowest price you'll find for a chiming watch. Pause. The primary competitors, they're all priced well above 1,000 euros. Pause. I myself had the Ratcliffe, which I had considered, and that was well over 1,000 euros. It was delivered. It also came with a rubber, so there's really nothing to say about the price. And then the only real drawback is that the gong sound level is genuinely far too weak. I'd say otherwise it would truly be a banger.
All right then. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you very much, and I'll see you all next time.